It's late. The lights are off. Your body is exhausted. You've been waiting for this moment all day, the moment you finally get to rest. But the second your head touches the pillow, your mind wakes up. That awkward thing you said 3 years ago, the email you forgot to send, a conversation you'll probably never have, rehearsed in perfect detail. Why does this happen? Why does your brain choose the one moment you need silence to get loud? It isn't broken, and it isn't random. What's happening in your head right now is ancient, and it once kept you alive. For a long time, scientists assumed the brain rested when you did nothing. Then they put people in scanners and asked them to think about nothing at all. The brain didn't go quiet. It lit up. A whole web of regions switched on, what researchers now call the default mode network. It's the brain's screensaver, except instead of shapes, it plays your life, memories, worries, imaginary arguments, plans for a future that may never come. All day, this network is drowned out by noise, work, screens, conversations. But at night, in the dark, the noise disappears, and for the first time in 16 hours, your mind can finally hear itself. The thoughts were always there. You were just too busy to listen. In the 1920s, a young psychologist named Zeigarnik sat in a Berlin cafe, watching the waiters. They could remember every unpaid order in perfect detail. But the moment a bill was paid, the memory vanished. Your brain does the same thing with your life. Finished tasks get archived. Unfinished ones stay open, like tabs you can't close. That's why your mind replays the one email you didn't send, and not the 100 you did. Psychologists came to call it the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain keeps unfinished business on a loop, because a loop is hard to ignore. Now count. At the end of a long day, how many loops are still open? And you know what finally plays them, all at once, the quiet. But there's a deeper reason, one that's much, much older than email. For hundreds of thousands of years, night was the most dangerous time to be human. No walls, no locks, no light except fire. Predators hunted in the dark. So did other humans. The ancestors who relaxed completely at nightfall often didn't see the morning. The ones who survived were the ones who lay awake, listening, reviewing, rehearsing. What went wrong today? What could go wrong tomorrow? That anxious voice at midnight isn't a malfunction. It's a night watchman, hired by evolution 100,000 years ago. No one told him the war is over, so every night he still shows up for his shift. Here's the problem. The watchman can't tell a real threat from an awkward memory. To him, the unsent email and the leopard feel exactly the same. So he treats your embarrassment like danger and sounds the alarm again and again. Psychologists draw a line between two kinds of night thinking. Planning looks forward. It solves. It closes loops. Rumination looks backward. It circles. It opens them wider. And a tired brain is terrible at telling them apart. At 2 in the morning, you're not solving problems. You're rehearsing pain. That's why the same thought can spin for an hour and arrive nowhere. The watchman isn't looking for answers. He's just refusing to leave his post. 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher noticed the same nightly visitor. His name was Seneca, and instead of fighting the watchman, he gave him an appointment. Every evening before bed, Seneca held a small private trial of his own day. What did I do badly? What did I do well? What did I leave unfinished? He examined each thought deliberately while the lamp was still lit, so that by the time he lay down, the day had already been heard. The Stoics understood something we keep forgetting. A mind that is never given time to think will take that time from your sleep. Your midnight thoughts are not an interruption. They're a meeting you kept postponing until the only slot left was 1 a.m. So don't fight your thoughts. Trying not to think about something is the surest way to think about it. Instead, hold the meeting early. An hour before bed, take a piece of paper. Write down everything unfinished, not to solve it, just to close the tab. In one study, people who wrote out tomorrow's to-do list fell asleep measurably faster, because a loop that's written down no longer needs to be remembered. And when thoughts still come, and they will, don't treat them as enemies. Greet the watchman. Thank him. Tell him the perimeter is safe. You can't fire him. He's been on duty for 100,000 years, but you can let him know. His shift is over. So tonight, when your mind begins its parade, remember what it really is. An old guardian, scanning for leopards that no longer exist. A waiter, keeping every unpaid order alive in his head. A philosopher, asking for one honest hour of your attention. Your brain isn't keeping you awake to torture you. It's doing the very thing that carried you here, across 100,000 years of dangerous nights. You're not broken. You're just very well guarded. Sleep well.